here with the DRF race of the day for Thursday, December the 28th. It's race number 7 at Aqueduct, the Bay Ridge Stakes for fillies and mares, New York breds, going a one-turn mile. Let's take a look at this field. The key to the race is the horse that's going to be the favorite and the horse to beat. The number 2, Fingal's Cave, a horse that showed an immense amount of potential and talent when we last saw her. The problem is we haven't seen her in 432 days, and that's a very, very long layoff, especially when you're returning at a demanding one-turn mile distance. The good news for Fingal's Cave fans is that she has talent and she has speed. Here's the Timeform US pace projector, and Timeform US believes that this pace could favor front runners, and if Fingal's Cave breaks quickly, she should show fresh early speed. Know-it-all Audrey's best asset is her tactical speed, and I would think she's going to be sitting just off with a big chance turning into the stretch, and if Fingal's Cave needs a race off the layoff, maybe Know-it-all Audrey inherits the front. Cairo Sugar is another horse with good tactical speed, and I can see her tucking in behind the leaders with a pretty good trip. We'll begin with Cairo Sugar, and I just think her last race is a little bit better than it looks on paper. I don't think the race was run to suit her. The pace wasn't fast and she was close to it. But the horse that was on the lead, Hot Fudge, that horse is in very, very sharp form. She would come back to win the Garland of Roses for her 4th consecutive victory. She earned an 87 buyer in the Garland of Roses, and Hot Fudge was controlling that moderate tempo. Cairo Sugar was on a hard chase. I just don't think it was the right trip for her. I think this time around she's going to sit back, let others do the dirty work pushing the pace. She'll still be relatively close when they turn into the stretch. She's done some good things in 2023. She might need to improve a little bit from a speed figure standpoint, but I think she has the ability to outrun her odds in this spot. Fingal's Cave is the number 2. She won her first 4 starts last year, and that gave the connections plenty of confidence to try this race, the Grade 2 Raven Run, and she was steadied very badly after the start. She couldn't get to her customary spot close to the pace. She wound up absolutely last, but as you see, she comes with a very good run to finish second behind Wicked Halo, who has been one of the more consistent filly and mare sprinters in the country over the last few years. Wicked Halo, after this victory, would come back and run 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint with a 94 buyer speed figure. David Donk limited positive data with horses coming back off a year or greater. According to DRF Formulator, over the past 5 years, Donk is 1 for 3. 2 of those horses have hit the board. We'll see what we get from Fingal's Cave off of the bench. She should show speed, demand a little bit of value. Venti Valentine won this race last year, and Venti Valentine has been a very consistent New York bred for a very long time. Here's her 3rd place finish last time out in the Grade 3 Go for Wand, facing Dr. B, who was winning the race for the 2nd consecutive year. Dr. B wired this field over a muddy track. Venti Valentine tried to rally from last, and she passed a couple of tired horses in the stretch. I think she's better when there's a little bit more pace. She might not get that setup in this spot, but I also think that Manny Franco is going to make a concerted effort to stay a bit closer. It's not like Venti Valentine is the kind of filly that needs to make one run. I think she's going to try to be a little bit closer. This field could be really bunched up turning for home, and Venti Valentine does have a strong kick. It could come down to who kicks home the strongest. Sweetie is up next. She's coming off a 3rd place effort and a 1st level allowance at Aqueduct. Now, I think the 1 1/8 worked against Sweetie in this spot. She was in against a pretty good group, although I think this is even a tougher group she'll be facing on Thursday. An even performance for Sweetie. I like her turning back to a mile. She is a 5-year-old mare that's only run 7 times, so I wonder how much upside is left, and I do think she'll need a little bit of a buyer boost and a career best effort if she's going to take down this field. Bustin Bay, you know what you're going to get from her. It's going to be a consistently good effort. Here's her most recent start in the New York Stallion Series. She ran against Morning Matcha, who's just better than Bustin Bay. Morning Matcha is a horse that's been Grade 1 placed in her career. She got a little bit of a class relief, and Bustin Bay, as always, tried hard. She ran a good 2nd. She's won 11 times, has been in the exacta 19 times. A mile is very good for her, and she is another mare, not pace dependent. Can work out any sort of a trip depending on how fast the pace is. Bustin Bay and Kendrick Carmouche, I would expect them to try to make a late run in this race. The consistent know-it-all Audrey is coming off a good-looking win in the Rich Empire Distaff, going 1 1/8 miles. Let's watch that performance over a muddy track. I thought she worked out a really nice trip under Javier Castellano this day. She saved ground in the pocket, was in between horses on the backstretch, went after the 2-to-1 shot pace setter on the turn, and grinds her way by in the stretch. It was a good-looking effort for Know-It-All Audrey. All 7 of her lifetime wins have come at Aqueduct. Maybe she's slightly better going 1 1/8 miles, but she was second in this race last year, and her tactical speed will put her in good position. Dylan Davis takes the mount on Know-It-All Audrey. Sweet Mystery is up next, and Sweet Mystery is coming off of a 3rd-place finish in her most recent start, an open first-level allowance race. The winner of that race, Ain't Broke, is in razor-sharp form. That horse would come back to win a 2nd-level allowance for her 3rd consecutive win. She earned an 87 buyer in the subsequent race, 4th behind Know-It-All Audrey, 2 starts back in the Empire Distaff. She has excuses for that race. The wet track, the 1 1/8 miles. She's cutting back in distance. I think Trevor McCarthy will try to take back and make one run. Before we get to my top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time for the Bay Ridge. I certainly respect Fingal's Cave, and if she comes back in the form she was in before the lengthy layoff, she's likely going to win. I'm not sure I want to take a short price on her considering the layoff. Know-It-All Audrey's in good form, and I think a good trip is coming. Outside pace tracking and right there when they turn for home. 6-2, 5-3 for me in the Bay Ridge, the Thursday DRF race of the day. Good luck.